So this is all there is everything. It's already everything. Everything is this, but it's singular. So there's nothing outside, there's no inside, there's no time, there's no distance. No distance is also no inside, no outside. That's crazy because we're so used to distance and time. And when I'm saying there's no time, that can be saying like, yeah, no, yesterday maybe. But it's also no before. No before, no after. It's this. It's singular. There's nothing before. It never happened. There's nothing happening. And it's an appearance of this, a hand, wall. It's very, very simple, without any meaning at all. It's that what is apparently happening. So there's no story. There's no one that's happening to. There is already no one. So there's nothing to look for. There's nowhere to go. It's this already. It's very ordinary. It's already what is happening. So there's not, when there's a looking for it, that thought is it already. So you can't miss it. It's the only thing there is. Maybe it looks different than what you would think. That's normally what's going on. That when there's me in the story and this is my life, me is that feeling, that belief, embodied belief that there's something wrong, that there's something right, that there's something missing, that this is not enough. It's an unsatisfaction and all that. So it seems like it should be something else. What? And there, a lot of times it's about no tension anymore, peace, feeling loved, and all that. It's already what is happening. So it's not something, it's everything. It's everything. So it can be tension, it can be any feeling, but it's not in the body. The body is also an appearance. So everything is an appearance. So there's no one. No one means really no one. No one existing. There's that hand, a face, a street, a wall. It's that singular. And it's everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. Everything is life. It's unconditional love. It's unconditional. There are no conditions. That's somewhere there's the longing of there's no conditions, because when there's living in the story, there are always conditions. This is better, you should do this. It's about behaving in a certain way. There are no conditions. It's unconditional love. It's everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. Nothing has any meaning. It's already what it is. A glass of water. It's that. It doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't mean anything. It's that already. So also this meeting doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't mean anything. The words can be understood or not understood. It doesn't matter. Everything is useless because it's already, there's nowhere to go. So it doesn't need anything. And that's, for me, it's crazy to hear, because that's the function of me, you could say, is trying to make your life better, trying to think about what's going on and what can I do, and when I finally understand and all that. And then hearing that whole construct, being busy with what's going on and trying to heal or trying to be better, is completely useless, and it's a dream, because there's already no me who can do that, but it's also, there's no need for it. It's already complete as it is. So that whole construct of me, all the ideas about what shall be, and in the complication about what can happen, and the understanding and the clarity, they can be there, but it doesn't have any meaning. Even this meeting doesn't have any meaning, of course. It's just talking. It doesn't matter what it is. And that's crazy because in the story, it's everything's mattering or it's important or something's going on. And that, what is it? It's sitting already. So it's that. It's not even close. It's the only thing there is. And it's overlooked by trying to make it in a story, trying to understand, trying to make it happen, maybe. Because that idea that there's a free will and choice can be so strong. It's very convincing. But there's already no me. There's already no one. Everything is singular. So that seeing this, that face is it. There's nothing inside. There's also no outside. So there's also no world. It never was. It's a construct of information and all that and abstracting that what seems to happen in the story. So this is already perfect and complete. It's exactly that what is happening. So we can talk about that. And there can be any questions because when there's living in the story, there are a lot of times there's a search going on and a lot of questions about how to behave and what to do and maybe what is me or whatever question. Can be any question. It doesn't matter what is. There are no silly questions, of course. Or maybe there are no questions and there's nothing saying. There can be silence, there can be talking. It's the same. It's nothing happening. It's nothing and everything together. And it doesn't matter what it is. Really, it doesn't matter. That's the stunning of this. It doesn't need understanding. That's also new because in the story there's a lot about understanding and clarity and finally having insights and all that. It's completely useless. It nothing is wrong. But it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't mean anything. Also these words, they don't mean anything. It's just words. Mhm. It's already. It's already everything. Everything is unconditional love. This is living in love already. But love is not like, oh, we are so happy and all that. Love is everything. So pain can be there, all circumstances. But they don't happen to you. It's energy. It's an appearance of energy without meaning.
Hey, Rose.
Hi. Hi.
You just said, hey, you just said living in love. Um, and also, I've always heard the speakers say this is not an experience. So
This is what you said? This
mm,
is?
this is not experience, not
Oh,
knowing,
oh
not
yeah.
experience.
Hmm.
Then why you say live in love? Who's live in love?
I can't explain. When it's unconditional. Life is unconditional. It's love. I can't say why. We are so into
Is that a
love.
feeling?
Not
Sorry.
no, it's not a feeling. That's what we normally think. That a
Mm,
feeling of love, and then we know what it is or experience it. This is not an
mm,
experience. It's strange that
Mm.
I and then suddenly it's like, oh, it is love. Well, how can you explain? No, it's very clear, but how can you explain that? This is unconditional love. It's stunning, and it's not because what we normally have when there's me going on and looking for something, everything seems real. And when everything seems real, it's solid, and then there's a feeling of there's something missing or not satisfying or all that. And there can be a moment of then suddenly that whole searching isn't there. And then you see like, oh, but it's already the table and it's alive. It's aliveness. And that's unconditional love. Well, when there's looking and being busy with trying to find, then it's more like looking for something, and everything is like solid and all that. So you can't even imagine that the table could be it. It's like, yeah, what is at the table? So when there's that loss, but it's not really a loss, but the loss of that all Look, seeing it that you could say when there's meat, it's a coloring of how everything is seen. Like there's something missing,
Mm.
so it's seen like this is not enough. It's solid and it's not satisfying and it's not
Yeah,
freedom
yeah.
and all that. And suddenly that color it's a way of speaking. It's not really like isn't
Mm.
there.
Mm.
And then oh, it's already of course it was the only thing there is. But you can't do that.
Mm. Yeah, I
And
do
there can be
sometimes feel
moments
like,
yeah. Mm,
yeah, I do sometimes feel like this me is actually the veil. It's so
yeah, it's a
obvious. It's
fail. Yeah,
just the
yeah.
veil
Mhm.
to
Yeah, in a
see
way.
to just yeah, in a way to see things directly. It's
Yeah,
just no time. It's just so
yeah,
straight, like you said, singular. Is a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, and the me is the on top of that seems like
yeah, you could say
y-
that. Yeah.
yeah
Sometimes it's
to
like there is no it's a lot of people have that is that like in nature there can be just walking there and suddenly like a bird is singing like, "Oh," and it's suddenly like, "Oh." And it seemed like, yeah, it's
mm,
because of the singing of the bird. That's so beautiful. Or that's well, it's and that well, and it's not it's everything. It's also the dirt or anything.
mm, mm. So it's the aliveness
Mm.
is the unconditional love.
Yeah, yeah. It's a word. How
Mm,
can you say it?
mm,
How can you
mm,
say
mm,
it?
mm.
It's the word of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's unconditional love. It's aliveness. It's silence
The
also.
energy,
Energy.
the energy.
But
Mm, mm,
it's not something. So then because when it's something, it becomes something else. It's that, isn't it? We call unconditional love the
mm,
mother for a baby. Well, that's something else. It's more like a feeling.
mm. But at the same time, the me is that unconditional love too, right?
Well, me doesn't exist. So how can you? I couldn't say that. It's thoughts. It's
Mm,
not really something.
mm,
It's what is me. We talk about me because there's a story and everything. It's more understood. But in the same time, there is no me. It's sorting. It's not real. It's a dream.
mm. I've heard some people say the me is unconditional love, me.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds a bit weird for me to say that.
Oh, okay, okay. Mm,
It's not wrong, of course. It's not. Nothing is wrong, but me seems like something solid. For me, it seems like me is then something solid. It's not. It's like what is me? You can't even grasp it. What is that? So there's
mm.
to say that makes it a bit real, but it doesn't matter so much. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. To me, to hear that feels like there's no way out. It
No,
seems like
because
yeah,
you're
no
not,
way out.
but no way out because you're not in it.
Mm,
That's more like it. You're not.
Mm,
There's no prison. There's no separation. But that belief, it can be so strong,
mm,
embodied, that it's
mm.
just that. It's the, you could
Yeah.
say in a way it's the loss of that belief, but how is
Mm,
that? What it's very abstract talking, of course.
mm. I somehow still feel like a if yeah, I
Yeah.
still feel like if the me sense is here, then I'm not there yet.
Yeah, but that's me. Me is that it's very clever to say like, oh, there's there if you feel that, yeah, there's still in me. There's a sensation. Normally it's like some tension
Uh,
somewhere a lot of times.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then think, yeah, the me is still there. I thought that when that
Uh,
tension here in the chest.
uh, uh, uh.
No, it's not me, it's tension. Tension can be there
Oh,
still. It
oh,
doesn't change. That still
uh-huh,
it's everything.
uh-huh, uh-huh. So the tension, the thought, they're not me. They're just tension and thought.
Yeah, without meaning. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's chat. Next week, it seems I have to decide to operate my knee. I'm afraid this operation doesn't solve my difficulties in walking and driving, and in the same time, I heard that it could help. If anyone is there to decide, there's no hope to know if this operation is going to be done and it's going to help. You don't. No. There's no one deciding. It's like there's maybe lying on the table and there can be like a, oh, and then something is going on. Yeah, I don't know. No. But the strange thing also is not happening to you. And then we think like it's my knee, so I want it to be better and all that. It's what is apparently happening. There can be knee and pain. It's strange. It's still, the story still goes on, but there's no one in it. So there's nothing more important than anything else. There can be fear, but it's not because of anything. We always make some like this is because of that and this is because of that. It's everything is singular. There's no story. There's no continuation. And still there can be like, oh, I have to decide and all that. It's crazy. It's not a decision. It's suddenly saying yes and then I don't know what. So it's going like that. It's not you doing that. There is no you. You don't know what's gonna happen. So when there's an operation, you don't know what will happen next. This is about not knowing, and we want to know because knowing seems to be that makes it safe and in control, and but it also makes it a little bit dull and like everything is known and the street is every time the same and all that. This is not knowing. It's new. Oh, like that. And it's not about you. Life is not about you. Life doesn't see you. It's what is apparently happening. It's also an appearance. So it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't mean anything. There's no your life. Everything is singular. Everything is hand, knee, pain, wall. Very quick, of course. It's exactly as it is.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, of course.
Yes. So maybe a little bit about you, like you. Uh, that always, there never was like this. That what is talking now by you. Before it was different, right? Like you've been maybe something studying or listening some other teachers, and it took a while until this understanding happened as it is now, because we live still our self, yeah, our me life, and it's so slowly it's disappearing, this in my case, that
Mm, can
part
be.
of the day I don't feel myself and problems, just me is gone, but then the me is coming again, and again I'm stuck in the story.
Oh, yeah.
So this is like kind of process in my case, and the question is, how was it in your case?
Yeah, when there's a story, there always seems a process because there's being busy with it and trying to find out what's going on and feeling like, oh, is there still that me going on or not, or all that. So there was here too, of course, and that you could say meing and being, but it's already like that. So a lot of times when there's walking outside or maybe cooking or I don't know, sporting, there's a lot of time there's already nothing going on. So me isn't like always there. And the strange thing is when what me how can you say that? Me is that noticing, that being busy with it and trying to find out what's going on and comparing with something else. When that's lost, when that suddenly not happens, you could say, it's not, yeah, difficult to say how that goes. Is then it's not even noticed.
Mm.
There was that moment for me. It was like a moment, but that doesn't need to be. And then it's not even noticed. So there's nothing busy with what's going on. And that's normally a lot of times of the day it's there. And then suddenly is that noticing and being busy with, oh, when there's a feeling, maybe it suddenly feels like it's mine and there's something going on about it and it has to do with this or all that. That is, I could say that's me. That's that whole construct, trying to find out what's gone wrong and how can I make it right. And that's the misunderstanding. But you can't. This is not an understanding. It's the
Yeah.
loss of the
Yes.
knowing, and that's strange because we think we have to reach something, and it's more like the loss in could say in the story. It's not even the loss.
Understanding is only for person, right? For
Yeah,
the
yeah,
yeah, for
yeah,
the false identity.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there
So
is
that
there is just peace, and no one is understanding nothing. There is just peace. There is just freedom, and that's all what is, right? So
yeah,
no
but
one is understanding anything.
yeah,
Yeah,
but freedom is not a feeling, or peace is also not a feeling of peace.
yeah.
It's more like, how can you say that? There is the freedom is there, but it's it's also it's
For
how can you say
nobody,
it?
for nobody,
No,
freedom
for
for nobody.
nobody, and it's everything. So it's not always feeling free or something like of
Yeah,
always
yeah,
freedom.
yeah,
It's everything. So there tension and nothing feeling walking or just that.
yeah.
For me, the different what I can say like the difference is that there's nothing busy. Yeah, it's difficult to say. Nothing busy with what's going on. There's no and that's there's nothing going on about wanting or understanding or any that whole dream of that there's a separate person who can understand or do or whatever. That's that's not happening. It's like
Mm,
that.
it's happening. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that
Beautiful,
there's
beautiful.
no there's nothing done by Rose or something like. It's suddenly like, oh, there is no Rose. Oh
Yes,
God.
yes, 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 yes.
Well, that's. it's not awful, but when there's you're living your life and there's a lot of investment in that feeling of I'm here and being busy with everything, and this is about there never was Rose. There never was Rose. There is that phase, but that's it. There's no meaning in that at all. It's not important. Nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing appearing as a face, and that's it. Nothing more than that.
Still the body is moving, the speech is happening, right?
Yeah.
The pain is happening sometimes. Still, it's the processes are happening, but yeah. So
It's
what?
not even in the body. So the body is also an appearance. So it's not real. So it's somewhere in space. Everything is somewhere in space, you could say. So a feeling, a thought, and all. So nothing is mine or yours. So it's not an understanding of that. It's like, it's just like flies, all that, or something. It's just that. And then you don't think that fly is me and what kind of, what is happening in my, no, it's just that. So it's that neutral.
Mm. I have one more question, please. Um, this morning, for example, I was watching outside the window and I seen the guy on the street smoking, right?
Mm,
And something inside me is it's judging that moment that the guy is smoking too much. He's a bad guy, and something inside me wants him not to smoke, right? But it's happening smoking, so it's insane that something inside wants the situation be different as it is happening. Someone wants to be I am the smart guy and this guy shouldn't smoke,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it's very terrible this to observe that something inside me, or I don't know, is happening, that something wants to change the reality as it is.
yeah.
So
That's
it's
me.
manipulating,
That's
controlling the
exactly.
happening. Someone
Yeah,
wants to control the happening. So it's like pain, and then I just like, what can I do with that? I think nothing I can do with that that is happening, this
yeah,
changing. Or what do you
yeah,
say about that? How can you
yeah. But
help?
yeah, but that's exactly what me is. That's how it's going. There's something like there's that separation, that being able to abstract and seeing distance. So it seems like I'm here and there's someone there, and all and living in time. And then there's suddenly also that du- duality, like right and wrong, and
Yeah,
above and below, and
yeah,
better, of course.
yeah,
So then it's everything seen in that. So there's also on top of that, it's me. I am here, so that's the most important of all. So everybody is has to has to do something that I feel good about myself. So in an extreme way. So it's about that. That's me. That's a survival system trying to feel good in all kinds of ways,
mm,
being busy with that. And then there's
mm,
suddenly when there's a seeing of that, there can be like, oh my God. So it can go, it's an insight, but it's just that can be
mm,
very, it can be
mm,
more and more obvious. I don't know, it's different there can be a lot of understanding and insights about it, but it's also energetic and embodied. So
mhm.
it has, there can be an understanding, and can be very clear or upsetting maybe also, like that's going on. And how that's going, that's always, it's everywhere it's different. Sometimes it can't be going on, or sometimes it's even more. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just life. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's also unconditional love, of course. But for when there's me involved, it feels like frustrating and wanting something
Yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Another day when I'm kind of peaceful, I see the same guy smoking, and I see him. It is beautiful. It's a guy walking and smoking.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful
yeah,
moment. Yeah.
yeah,
Another day, it's ugly.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
depends if I just I'm in the flow, or I'm the judging person, right? So mm,
Yeah, and then that's that veil, what we talked about. That can be so strong, and then, but it's not you doing that. It's just energy.
mm,
It's that. There's nothing wrong with misunderstanding.
mm.
It's just misunderstanding.
Perfect.
So
Thank you very
what?
much.
It can't change also. It doesn't need to change. That's what we normally think. Oh, I want that other feeling again or that other state or how you say. No, it's already that too. When it's everything, it's also that.
It's also that.
It's
Okay.
also judging. There's nothing wrong with judging. That's strange because that's
Wow.
what we
Wow.
not see like that.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
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 Nothing wrong with judging. Right.
No,
Wow.
no, it's
Yeah.
not you doing that. It's energy. It's like it's life.
Wow. Wow. That's something very new for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow.
Oh.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Mm. Mm. Can you speak about there's no relationship, no daughter? There's no one. So there can be a body and there's another body who could say like you see that. There's no one inside. So there are no relationships with no one, but also not with circumstances. Nothing is happening to you. So there are no circumstances happening to you or to somebody else. There are no relations. So there's nothing here and there. So when there's no here and there can't be a relation. Everything is singular. There's no distance. So that what's happening is it. There's no cause and effect. There's no because and why, all that. There's no distance. So that's singular. It's that. There can be speaking and there can be pain. That's then pain, but it's not because of that what somebody is saying. There, there is no time. So we are so into relations and time and because and all that, so that makes it very complicated because it's always because of you and why and this is there and over here and all that. It's thoughts. They don't have any meaning. There can be any thought. There can be judging thought also. It doesn't have any meaning. It's just it's energy. It's thoughts. And then and then now it's difficult to say, but it's there's something else. Then that's the only thing there is. It's new. It's that. So there's no relationship. There's also no one to blame because that's the other side of like, oh, or that somebody feel you feel like, oh, I'm the victim of what's going on and all that. No, that's also complete out of the window. There's no relation. So that what is happening is it. Without reason, without explaining, a feeling can be there, pain, sadness. But it's not a feeling is also not yours. So a feeling can is happening in the air, in space. So it's that. It has nothing to do with you. There is no you. The body isn't real. It's an appearance. So it's somewhere. It's somewhere. It's happening. It's an appearance of sadness. Has nothing to do with you or there is no one inside or outside. There is no one. That's a construct, a dream of that there's time and distance and all that. So it seems like there's someone inside and then the whole story starts. There is no me. There's no story. It's what is happening. Exactly that. Fear, wall. It's not. We are so like this. It's about us, and everything is happening to me or to somebody else. No, it's what is happening. It's exactly that. Some sensation, maybe you don't even know what it is. Then that, and then and the floor. It's energy, an appearance of energy. It's very simple. It's so, so, so simple. There's no complication. There's just that what is happening. Sitting, the table. It's very ordinary. And already, it's already. So there's, you can't look for it. No, it's the only thing there is. But it's not a thing. So it's just everything. That's the freedom. It's new. Everything is new. Mm. We assume when there's a story, there's a when there's sitting in a room and my daughter or my husband is outside there and maybe what is he doing and all that. It's a dream. They're sitting watching television, glass of water. It's already everything. There's nothing outside or inside. There's no distance. It's this hand, sound. It's talking. I was listening to to something a show, and then the man was talking a very complicated, like, "Oh, what's going on, and how did you do that, and all that." And I was with talking with the child, and suddenly the child's like, "Oh, you have black shoes." It's that. Hmm.
Are there any plans to come to Eastern Europe again, like Budapest, Prague, Vienna, Slovakia, something like that? In
Oh
the
yeah, yeah. There may be. We're not sure yet, but there are plans to go to Prague again and Budapest also. For the rest, I don't know because there's I know people in Budapest and Prague, but not in other cities. So,
yeah.
well, yeah, of course, I love to travel. So, can be. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
Rose,
Yeah.
I feel that there's a tension here. That tension is the fear of not knowing, the fear of not experiencing anything. If I can't experience anything, I don't know how it feels. It's just fear.
Well, there can be fear, there can be tension, but that's it. That's already what is.
But I feel like that's the thing to stop me vanish.
Well, that's making it into a story, and that seems like frightening. And then think like, oh my God, how will that be? It's very easy.
Mm,
Yes, sometimes you not even notice. So it's 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 already the only thing. What's sometimes extra, you could say, it's like there's someone looking at it and trying to make things happen. It's completely useless like that. It's just there's nothing wrong with it, but it can be being busy because there's an idea that there's a free will and can choice and all that. It's like being busy, but nothing wrong with being busy, but doesn't help or do anything, doesn't have power. And that what's already happening is just going. So that in that way there's no change. The only change is that there's that whole construct that thinks that I can do and have to decide and what is wrong and what should I do and this is to do with this. That doesn't happen. Well,
mm,
that's it's so normal when that doesn't, it's
mm,
just not even noticed because it's so normal.
mm,
Yeah, like that.
mm,
Mhm. Oh, there's somebody saying, I sent a good friend emails last year and I didn't hear from her. So I was thinking she needs her rest and now I find out she's dead already for a year. Yeah. Well, it's a story. Yeah. There's sitting. There's writing. Yeah, that's it. There's no meaning in anything. There's no meaning in anything. You can't do something right or wrong. There's no one. That whole idea that I'm here, that's that's the construct which can say like, oh, I did something right, oh, I did something wrong. How shall I? So it's always about behaving and how to do, and it's complicated because you don't know and you're not sure and all that. It's already happening. Life doesn't ask us like, oh, what can we do and decide for me what will happen. No, there there's no one. So it's what is happening. So it's not about wanting, it's not about doing, it's what it is. And it's not happening to you. So that's complete simplicity. It's impossible to make an image of it, how that would be, because we're always thinking in doing and how to, and how will that be that there's no me anymore? Is there then no control? And how will that be? Trying to imagine, because that's the way normally we do. And we try to decide and we live like that. When that's lost, nothing is lost. It's already going. It was already like that. But when you could say she's dead, well, this is not about. This is already no one there. So there is no beginning. There's no end. There's no being alive, and there's no going going to die. It's what is happening. There is no one. So that's the story. She's dead. And I didn't do anything and I didn't all that. I could you hate it? Yeah. Hate can happen. Yeah.
Can I ask again?
Yeah.
So this way of living, I guess, should bring more relaxed body. Like, do you feel maybe less tension in the body, like with this kind of just living in the flow? When I compare with, I am kind of a lot of oriented to my body, and when just I sometimes see outside going ambulance to going to help someone, to rescue someone, I feel like, oh, So these things I would like to kind of be not happening that much, like to be oriented to my body, that I am this, I am the body, right? And the body is gonna die. It brings the tension. So in your case, this is not happening, right? This tension.
Yeah.
uh
There is tension. Yeah, of
it is.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such an I know. I had so much the same. And like when there's tension, that's still me going on and all that. No, tension is just what's happening. There can be tension or anger or irritation or I don't know, anything. It's not happening in the body. That's what we assume, that it's the body is there and there's somewhere there's a way of taking care of the body and that's so embodied. So maybe there's no one inside, but there's still something busy with it. The body isn't real. Nothing is real. So there can be an appearance of tension, but it has nothing to do with the body or you. It's singular. It's what is
It's
happening.
just tension. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Tension or screaming or
Mhm.
everything.
Anything,
So it's
everything.
not, and we what we normally are used is that everything is personal, and I'm doing that, and oh, how can I be more free of that or all that? Life is everything. So it's also like little children. It's that same. Like there's the tension and then tired and now yeah, not busy. Not there's no identity. There's no not being busy with it. And it's not about busy with how do I feel. It's what's going on. A bird. Ah, like that or something like that. So it's everything. It's not this life isn't about you or me or anyone.
Mm. Mm. Okay, it's tension, but for nobody, just tension, just tension.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just that. Yeah, that's life. Life is everything. Yeah.
And so another question, so you are not afraid of dying because there is no me who could be afraid, and there is no death because the death is connecting with the me. Just the me is dying. When the me dies, there is no death, right? Something like
Yeah,
that.
but I can't say that when suddenly that the doctor will say like, oh, you have 1 day left. I
Yes,
don't know that
yes.
maybe there's a lot of fear. I don't know. So
You don't know, you
there's
don't
no
know. It's not
no
happening.
there's
Yeah, you don't know. Yeah.
no there's nothing going on about afraid of dying and all that. But there can
Mhm.
be suddenly people, somebody saying something, and there can be suddenly like fear. I don't know. I don't even know if the fear, because of that, what we think, like somebody says something and then there's fear, and it's because of what's being said. I don't think it's because of what's said. It's suddenly there's fear. I don't know where it comes from. It's just there. So
Mhm.
we have so much the relations about what's being said or about a thought, and that's because of the thought I'm feeling having fear or things like that. No, that fear can happen, but it has nothing to do with anything. Also, not with thoughts or maybe
Mhm.
there's maybe dying. And there's
Mhm.
also nothing busy with that. Also,
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
but it can be fear. So, but it has nothing to do with anything. Fear is singular. Everything is singular. Not
Mhm.
mine. It's what happens, apparently, also.
Mhm.
So there's no escape.
I had once just experience or just happened one day. I was at my father's funeral, and the coffin was just sinking down, and I started to cry because it was emotion. I love my daddy a lot, so I was crying a lot, and then something came like. You shouldn't cry that loud, so you'll be like you'll feel like stupid, when just crying like very very much, and then suddenly it was big sadness and crying, and suddenly something inside just said like, just cry, it's just crying and nothing wrong with crying, just cry. And that moment of controlling the emotion just disappeared, and I was just crying, and it was peace, it just was peaceful crying, and was nothing wrong with crying a lot. It was just beautiful, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's,
that
yeah.
something came from inside to control, like, don't worry, just do what, it was just observing what's happening of crying, and it was just crying, no problem with crying. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's crying, and it's no. It doesn't need to be a reason. Maybe you don't even know, and it's
Yeah.
how it goes. Yeah.
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 Still the emotions are, and still there are some connections, maybe there was my father, yeah, so there was a laugh, so
Yeah,
it
but
was just
that what
happening.
we assume, that what we think, it's because of your father died that there's sadness. That's strange to hear. That there can be also being in a funeral and they are crying and you don't even know the person. So that it's just what is happening. It has
Yeah.
no relation with what's before. That's strange
Mm.
or new. Yeah.
But we kind of like, I mean, I have a son, right? You say like we don't have relationship, there is no me, but there is still happening every Sunday. I am skyping skyping is happening with my son. He's in Sweden, I'm in Slovakia, so it's happening. And like formally this is happening because I know there is some 16 years old boy, right? So I cannot deny that there is, um, it's happening. the Skype process. I understand it's not me doing that, but it's happening
Yeah,
regularly.
yeah,
Skyping, like Zooming is happening, right? Regularly. Yeah.
yeah.
That was,
There's still planning in the story, of course.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
well, there's no one doing it, but it's how that goes. Yeah,
Yes. No
yeah,
one is doing that. Yeah. But
mm,
it's planning is still happening. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Hmm.
Rose,
Yeah,
it is strange to hear that um, if the body of Rose, for example, is about to die, there still can be a fear. Because what I thought is, you realize you're not the body, you're not the person. There's no me. And when the body is dying, or there you there's nobody to care anymore.
no, but fear can happen, and then we think it's because of what's being said. That's normally what we do, and then there's no relation. That's the strength. That's more like it. It's more like, oh, because I know I'm dying, I have fear,
Mm,
or there is fear, or how you say it. There can be fear, just that fear and or sadness. It's unrelated. There's no
mhm,
relation between anything. There's no time.
mhm,
So it's in the story. It's strange because then when there's talking in the story, there can be all
mm,
kind of ways that because that before it's said and there's being normally thinking like that.
mm,
But to hear that there's no relation between that what's being said before and what is happening, like fear, there's no relation. No, there's no time. That's no time. That's so. How can you imagine? Well, there's fear. Can be fear, but not because of that knowing or anything.
mm,
Strange, yeah.
mhm.
Hmm.
I thought there would be nobody to
There's no
to have the
relation.
fear. Oh, no relation.
That's what meant by no relate. There's no relation between anything. So there's no before and no after. There's no
Mm,
here or there. And
mm,
that makes, when that's there in the story, that's the relation because you see somebody else and there's time. So
mm,
before, and so there's relations between what's going on or people. But it's also
mm,
about you said this and now I feel this. So that's because of that. No.
mm,
And that's so everything is new. It's unknowing. And that doesn't mean that in the story they can be talking about that, of course. But no, it's unrelated.
mm,
There are no relation. No, that's only in the story. There's two. That's the simplicity. It's fear for no reason.
mm, It's hard to understand.
Yeah, no, it's can be, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's,
It just feel like everything, I mean, like at least in this personal life, everything seems have a cause and effect, right? I angry is just because someone's triggered me or something triggered me. I have fear. It's must because, you know, something happened to make me feel scared. But to say there's no cause, there's no effect. It's just beyond
every,
logic.
everything is an appearance. We are so used that this body, there's someone in. That body, there's someone in. So there's a relation. And this is happening because there's time. So we are so used to see that there's the story of me and you and what's happening and the world. And we live there. So that's so embodied, that living in that way and in time and distance and being busy with relations and how that's going and because and all that. And how can I
Mm,
do it? And how can I deal with this and all that? And this is completely out of the story. There's there's an appearance of everything, but there's no relation, there's no time. So there's hand, table, feeling. Everything is singular. It's complete. That it has nothing to do with the story. No relations, no
mm,
time, no distance,
mm,
nothing. There's nothing happening. So that's the freedom. What we
mm,
are so into that, so embodied that idea and beliefs and concepts about how the world is, how your life is, how things work. This is
mm.
so out of that, outside of that, I could say. And that's the
But the
freedom. But
mm,
there's a longing for that, like, oh God. And
mm,
in the same, like, yeah, but how then this and how then that?
mm,
Of
mm, mm,
course.
mm,
Yeah,
mm. The brain automatically, like put things together. They just,
yeah,
you know, with the brain,
yeah,
everything seems put them together in order, like in a timeline.
yeah, yeah.
Does your brain still function like that? Like you can
No,
put
it's less.
everything together?
It was in the beginning. It still did go on. Well, there was
Uh-huh,
no one home to do something with that. It wasn't even noticed. So you could say I forgot, but it's not about forgetting
uh,
because that's
uh,
that's only in the story. But
uh-huh,
so then, when there's that brain or that being busy and all those thoughts came, and there's
uh-huh,
nothing, it's not sticky, you could say, then it just falls
uh-huh,
away. So the brain still works. There can be an understanding of all that, but
mm,
it's not important. So it's a deepening in that way of no importance and no meaning.
mm-hmm,
And it, yeah, it's an appearance. It's so,
mm-hmm,
yeah, that's, and then it's, yeah, how can you say that? So
mm-hmm,
it's about loss in that way because it's like it's already like that. But we are so much into belief that and the concepts. There's so many concepts and beliefs about what's going on and how to and all that, and that can
mm,
loosen or fall away or all that, or not arrive, not be there, and then it's like oh, and sometimes like oh, okay, yeah, something like that. It's so
mm-hmm,
different. Yeah. So it's about
mm-hmm,
loss. It's not about understanding. That's normally what we try to do, be clear and understand.
mm-hmm,
It's not, this is not about understanding at all. It's
mm.
meaningless.
Yeah.
There's nothing happening. So what is there to understand?
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, sometimes I do feel like, oh yeah, it's just so obvious. It just cannot
Yeah.
be, like in order, with the 8 billion of different orders.
Yeah. Yeah, it's even not logic. Like, oh my God, how can you believe that? That's sometimes, or when,
Mm, mm,
also in religious, sometimes people, and then some beliefs, I feel like, and then when it's not there
mm,
anymore, it's like, how could I believe that? Or how can somebody? It's not logic.
mm.
Also, in that way,
Yeah,
can help, but it's not always about logic, of course.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, it just have this visceral, like a bodily, still have this bodily
Mm,
sense of the me,
yeah.
the localized, contracted energy, like a feel, yes, there's something within the skin, within this one
Yeah.
called me.
Yeah. Can that will it's a misunderstanding, but it can be so strong and embodied. It so seems to be the
Mm,
normal way for most people. In another way, how do you know? How do you see that? It's just like it's just that. Yeah, it's only that front. That's it. How do you? There's someone in.
mm.
What? How, what? Who? How? In
Yeah,
that way, you could
can't
say
find
that.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. Yes, in that
yeah.
way. So, but it's so, and in the same time, it's so sure. That's how amazing how that's going. Yeah. Well, yeah, if
Mm,
that's like that, then that's energetically, it's like that. There's nothing wrong
mm.
with that. It's just life in that way. Well, meaning
Well, there's
seems
a
like that.
sense of lack
Hmm.
with the yeah with the
Yeah.
like the localized contracted energy. There's
Yeah.
the sense of the separation. And that
Yeah.
means sense of lack.
Hmm.
Mm. It's not huge. It's just subtle. It's
Yeah.
always there. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank. Hmm. There's no life of Rose. Some people have some ideas about how Rose will be, of how the body will feel, all that. There's no life of Rose. Everything is lost. And it was already like that. Mm. Destructive thoughts arising. Can you say something about that? That can be thoughts like you're not good enough or all that. Those, it's energetic. It's just thoughts. They don't have any meaning. They are not yours. We give them meaning. We think they are ours and it's becoming something and we have to do something with it, or I don't feel good now because that thought is there. Thoughts are thoughts. They don't have any meaning. Nothing has any meaning. It's not yours. It's not happening in your head. It's somewhere in the air, in space. It has nothing to do with this body. There is no you. There are thoughts and sitting, coffee. There are no relations between thought and you. That thought is thought without meaning. That's that is what apparently is happening. There can be a feeling, and then there's that feeling. It's not also the feeling is not yours. It's not happening in the body. There can be tension. There can be the table. It's everything. It's neutral. It's as it is. A feeling. Pain, maybe. I don't know. Okay, there's something else. It seems like before I used to have fewer thoughts and everything was calmer, and now there are too many thoughts. I wonder what happened. They're just more. There's not even more. What we do is then we see like this is my life, and there's weeks before living in time, and then there was this, and now there's this, and that's because of something maybe. What is that? There's no story. They're thoughts. Yeah, thoughts can happen. And when there's a comparing, that seems like, oh, then there's a development. And maybe the development, we want the development going better, then it's okay. And it's good. And there's no question about it. And when it's the other way around, it's like, seems like, oh my God, and, what's going on? And what do I do wrong? Maybe it has nothing to do with you. They're thoughts, or a lot of thoughts. Yeah, they're meaningless. They're just thoughts, like the table or flies or a feeling can happen. Everything is singular. It's an appearance of what is: a tree, a feeling, water, thoughts. It's energy. Nothing is more important than anything else. There's nothing happening. There's no time.
I like when you say there's no time.
Ah,
And then the story cannot be put together.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. Mm, mm, mm. There's somebody asking, how can there be no right or wrong and better and worse? It's only in the story that there's a comparing to there's something going on like this is right and this is wrong. It's what it is. It's when there's a looking, when there's me and there's also distance and living in time and space and distance, and then there's looking at yourself and there's a divider like, oh, this feels good, and this feels not good. It's most of the time it's about you feeling good, and when it feels good it's good, and when it feels not good or awful, that's wrong in that way, in a little bit like. So then there's the divider, and then everything is related to that feeling of it does good, or ideas about, and when he does that, that's awful because that affects me in a way, and it's all about you. In the end, it's always about you feeling good or not good. And then there is no you. So it's not good or not good. It's what it is. It's a feeling. It's neutral. It's fear. It's a feeling. It has nothing to do with good or not good. It's neutral. There's no one looking at it. It's what it is. It's completely different. When there's a looking at it, there's always like, oh, this is better. Oh, yeah, no, this does me good. No, 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 I don't feel good. When that everything is lost, there's no one looking or being busy with what's going on in this body, what seems to be mine, and all that. Everything is what it is. Exactly that. Not for me. There's no for me. So there's nothing more important than anything else. It's just, it's what is happening. Everything seems like an experience when there's something going on, like a feeling. Do I like it? Don't I like it? Do I not like it? Is it because of this or is it because of that? Oh, this is awful because, oh, no, I don't like, I want something else. I want to feel more relaxed. Oh, I know. It's in a way, it's about that. So that it's always related to someone experiencing something and feeling, wanting to feel good, because that's in the end, it's about me wanting to feel good and not having pain. That's the story of me, and trying to make everything better about myself, or maybe about the surroundings or the world, to feel better and then feel more relaxed or free. And then suddenly here, it's about, no, there is no one. So that whole story about wanting to feel good and not pain is completely out of the window. It's it's not about you or me or a, a, a body which is real. It's an appearance of what is happening. So it's exactly that what it is already. That was already, but there was that idea or that embodied belief that this is the body is real and I'm in it and I'm able to make things right and make things right or do something about it with my free will. And it's a whole story with it, a whole belief about what's going on and what I am and what I can do and what the world is and all beliefs in that. It's beliefs. It's assuming that it's like that. It's sometimes a knowing like that. And this is a complete other possibility. It seems like me is trying to protect itself from this. Yeah, because it wants to survive. Me wants to survive and wants to go on, trying, helping to make it right. And that's because the basic is like there's something wrong. We can do something about it. And how can we do it? And what's the best way? And all that, being busy with that all the time. Yeah, it's never ending.
Hi, Rose.
Hey,
Yeah, just wanted to share what after we talked the other day, waking up the next day, there was no control. There was just going to work, eating food, and then something happened. And it's kind of what you've been talking about today. It was to do with the relation in the story. We're not supposed to be speaking, and this person messaged me. And the control now that has come in it's unbelievable. It's like I have to do something about this situation and I can't think about anything else. It's like it's completely lost that, there was none of that going on.
oh, yeah,
And what you just said, there's no escape. You can't stop that. You can't.
yeah,
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 yeah. In a way, I guess that is sounds strange. It's still me, I guess, saying it, but that is free in the way that I can't. There's nothing. I can't stop the fact that I'm trying to. There's this control. There's just. I don't know what to say about it, but
No, it's not even, yeah, and then you can say, I can't stop it. It's life too. It's like being busy, all thoughts, and like, doesn't
yeah,
have any meaning, like, but nothing has any meaning. So there can be also thoughts, and a lot of people, do this, and yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. And that's like when I said then, me's trying to protect itself from this. It's like it's so direct. It's
yeah,
so full on. It just, yeah, it's like it's odd. It's like it's looking at that and yeah, I can't
yeah,
just fall. It can't just die into that. It has to sort of, it's like a protector. It's like a yeah,
yeah. Well, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And then like yeah, 'cause like I said, there was no choice in waking up yesterday after we had the chat, and then just everything that was going on, and I couldn't. There was no choice for
yeah.
that. Be that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now it's like me waiting. It's like, oh, when will that happen again?
Yeah, yeah. It wants to be busy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
just thought I'd share.
yeah. Yeah, it's so strong. But it's so energetic. It is not like me is doing that. It is like
No,
it's energetic, and that can be so strong.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, then nothing is happening. There's just thoughts going on. Yeah. So
mm,
nothing goes wrong, or can't.
no,
No, it can't be. Mm.
mm, yeah. I just can't imagine what it would be like to not be there to control like in this case, the situation I've got coming up. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. there's also there's not know I there's not knowing, so there can be anything. There can be also a lot of thought, maybe. I don't
Mm,
know. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Life goes on in a sense, I guess.
Yeah,
It's
relations. Some things can be very strong in that whole construct, like trying to behave in
yeah,
a certain way, like a relation or
yeah.
money, or yeah,
It's
sure.
it, it's funny because it happened before. There was someone else I was speaking to before, and during the time when I was speaking to them, there was just this massive glimpse, and then again, it seemed to be again a story. But what pulled me out of that, in a sense, was again a relationship thing. It seems like trauma in a way.
No, it's no trauma. It's energetic, and it can be like that. It's just energetic how that's going. It doesn't matter, but it's like
Yeah,
that. It's
okay.
just that. Not for you. There is no life of then. There is no life in that way from someone.
Yeah,
Because we think in my life is always happening like that. No, there's no before. There's that. What's going on? Thoughting. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
There's no meaning in that. It's just thoughting or
yeah,
something else.
yeah. And I guess that energy claims it by saying, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
stronger when that trauma."
Yeah. And,
Yeah,
and oh, that happened before. That's me. Not the thoughts, but the thought, and that's happened before. And what is it? And making meaning in it, seeing meaning in it. And then the whole story starts. Then
yeah,
it's on the way.
yeah, yeah. That solidness. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a clench in the body, and then that's
Yeah.
yeah. Mm,
Yeah. Well, that's more like it when that's going, it's going. There's nothing wrong or right with that. That's because we think like, oh, finally, when there's no me, that won't happen anymore. I don't know. Right? It's
no,
just yeah. This is what is happening. So already, there's no
mm,
one doing that.
yeah. I remember Tony saying once about, characters, they are like, oh, just repeating back. Hmm. Um, Tony was saying about like there's characters that, for instance, have heavy bodies and light bodies, and you can't. That's just the way it is. That's yeah, yeah,
Yeah, or fiery or
yeah,
quiet or all. It's so much difference. Yeah,
mm, mm,
it's unique. It's unique.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah,
Tony said once to me, like, and that's like, it's life rosing, it's life denning. I love that.
yeah. I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Mm, thank you.
yeah, thanks. And it's this. It's already this. It's everything. It doesn't matter what it is. There can be being busy with everything and all that. Then life is that. It's in all kind of way. When it's saying it's everything, it's everything. It's unconditional of thoughting or cramping or tabling. It's everything. It's an appearance. It's energy in everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. And we are so used to making it in a story. There is no story. There is already no you. There is already no me. It's what is apparently happening. That's unconditional love already. It's everything. Hand, thoughts, light, fear. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Mm.
you, Rose.